Okay, it's April the 21st. We're here with Sheriff William Honsal to answer some media questions. What kind of protective gear are officers wearing in their vehicles, and how have they adapted their methods of interacting with the public to limit exposure?
All of our officers do have facial coverings. Some of them have homemade ones. Some of them have surgical masks. Also, they're equipped with N95 masks. The goal here is we've limited their interactions with the public by utilizing our phone reporting system, online reporting system. We've also kind of modified how we respond to calls, having people come to us as opposed to us going inside of a residence. So we've modified a lot of how we normally did law enforcement and conducted law enforcement by maintaining that social distancing and those kind of standards. There's certain times where we're not unable to mask up because it's a fluid situation and we're able just to go with it. But if everything is as controlled as possible, they're going to wear a mask during the contacts and to make sure that their safety and the safety of others are protected.
And has it been hard to procure those items like the N95 masks?
So like everyone throughout the country is finding out that masks are difficult to come by. And even though we are public safety and we're supposed to be the priority as far as us and the hospitals and medical community, it still is difficult for us. And so we have to put in procurements. We're paying money for masks that theoretically were $1 a mask. Now we're looking at because of supply and demand that they're $2, $3, $4 per mask, and so it's very difficult to just to have a disposable mask nowadays. So we're encouraging people just to have those face coverings and a lot of homemade ones and so this week we should have actual the facial coverings that kind of go over your neck and face. We should have all of our deputies are equipped with those probably by this Friday, I believe.
Great. So in the past week or so, there have been a number of violent crimes happening throughout the county. Is that par for the course, or has there been a noticeable change in how and what crimes are committed during the pandemic?
Well, violence is no stranger to Humboldt County. However, we are seeing the fact that as this is protracted, we're going into month 2 now, we're 5-6 weeks into this, where things are becoming difficult and people have lost their jobs and money's running out and there's tension in the family unit. So we are experiencing some of those violent outbursts, and we had our deputy sheriff shot at last week, which is absolutely deplorable, and to see something like that happen on a deputy that was just trying to check the welfare of a motorcycle that's parked on the side of the road past midnight, and then they get greeted with shots. I mean, that to me is just unthinkable, and so that's the kind of stuff that really, as police officers, we just don't know. It's unpredictable behavior, and so we have to just kind of react to that. But we're seeing that throughout the county, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's child abuse, whether it's people acting out and being frustrated and becoming having disturbances or fights in public. I think as this thing continues to go on, we might see more and more of that. And so that's why we're hoping to have some relief here real soon, get people back to work, and to make sure that people do have an avenue to make money for their families. They have the ability to take their kids to a child care facility, and so for people to actually start moving on with their lives.
Has COVID impacted the recruitment for new sheriff's deputies?
A lot of the systems that we had in place were still in place, and so online application process is still working with us. We've actually, our recruitment efforts have been very, very strong over the last 3 or 4 months. We just actually finished a oral board interviews this week, so we did it through Zoom conferencing and those kind of things, so video conferencing. And we had 12 people pass. So we're looking at sending as many as 10 people through this next academy in July, and our correctional deputy recruitment is very, very strong. So we're actually getting people applying for dispatch, applying for legal office assistants, as well as deputy sheriffs here in the county. So we're very, very happy about that.
What concerns does the sheriff's office have for the shelter in place being lifted? Are you concerned at all about that order getting lifted?
Yeah. So our biggest concern is we know that COVID is still out there. You know, the shelter in place has worked. This community has done a phenomenal job when it comes to doing our part to make sure that the coronavirus wasn't spread throughout our community. So we've seen that. Our numbers explain it. You know, we've only had 5 community transmissions that has occurred within our public, and so I think we've done an outstanding job with this. My biggest concern is as we start easing the restrictions and more people start gathering together, that more people will be infected with the virus, and that our hospitals won't have the capabilities to keep up with how many people are sick. So that's our number one fear. So that's why things have to be slow. Things have to be, very planned out as far as releasing certain, restrictions in place, and allowing people to gather. And so you're going to see over the next couple weeks different phases of our economy opening up, and we're trying to do the most, with the least impact. And but we still want people, number one, maintain social distancing. Wear a mask, in public, going to businesses. That's going to prevent the virus from being spread. And for us to kind of continue. The more and more that we comply with these kind of orders, and the virus doesn't spread, then all the experts and all the epidemiologists in their modeling will tell us that we are okay to move beyond and open more things up. And that's what we want to see. But we also, our biggest concern is preparing for a potential an outbreak. One outbreak in a skilled nursing facility, in the rescue mission, the jail, those kind of closed environments can really impact all the ERs and our ICUs and those kind of things. So it's important that we're able to still maintain what we can over this time. Just because we've had a couple great weeks and things are looking promising, we got to still make sure that we adhere to the guidelines and moving forward.
Sure. How many inmates have been tested for COVID inside the correctional facility, and have any tested positive?
So none have tested positive, but we've tested, I can't tell you how many we've tested. We've tested dozens of inmates. And so everyone that does go in, does get tested. And so they're in quarantine. And so we have great partners in our nursing staff there in our jail facility. It's WellPath is the company that runs our medical for our jail, and so they've bought all the private tests that sent off to private labs to get our inmates tested. So we're on it, and so far through our quarantine abilities, through our ability to control who goes in and out of the jail, our jail is solid on keeping COVID out at this time.
And then finally, Governor Newsom announced a deal with Motel 6 to house homeless. Has Humboldt adopted an operating agreement with Motel 6 or any other local motels?
Right now, our Department of Health and Human Services, our EOC, has worked with Homeless Liaison and basically providing a place for the homeless that are the part of the vulnerable population or currently being tested for or COVID-19, they have a place to go. And so we have secured facilities for that purpose. The governor has released money. We also have money within our county to do so. So we're doing that right now. They're still in the process of purchasing more space. The state hasn't necessarily purchased Motel 6 rooms in our county for that purpose. So we haven't done that here locally. That's been somewhere out of our county, but still that avenue is there, and so we're still working with the homeless community and trying to create space for them to go in the event that they are the vulnerable population or they get tested positive or they need to be isolated, because they're experiencing symptoms and they're waiting test results.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like the community to know?
Yeah, I think this is an important time that as we're kind of looking at phasing in some of the businesses that we deem non-essential, I think it's really important that the essential businesses that are really defined in the public health order, that they open up. I think there's a lot of places that have the ability to open up that they're just not because of the fear of the spread of the coronavirus. I think there's things that they can do, and we're going to give out some real good advice this next week for non-essential businesses, but people in general. Social distancing, masking, getting stations so people can wash their hands and keeping clean and maintaining that 6 foot distance all around. I think that is very, very important. I think the success we point to the grocery stores. The grocery stores in our community have done an outstanding job. The grocery store workers, stocking the shelves, the clerks, all those people have been working since the inception of COVID. And we have not had an outbreak within one of these facilities. And they've done everything right. I think as the essential businesses look around, they say, listen, if the grocery stores can do it, then we can do it. So government needs to open up. We need to lead by example. So this Friday, the Sheriff's Office is opening up for all of our business operations here at Main Station. And so if anyone needs live scan purposes, if they need a copy of a report, they can come here. We ask them to phone ahead for an appointment. If they don't phone ahead, they're going to be put into a queue because we don't allow a couple people in our lobby at this time. The courthouse is still closed, and so we will have to have you escorted in and out of the facility, but we're hoping that we're one of the first. I do want to remind people too, okay, that public health is probably, I think, one of the only county offices that has remained open the entire time. And public health is the one that knows the most about the coronavirus. And if they were, steady enough to say, we're not fearful from having a front door that's open and putting restrictions in place, then the rest of the community should also have that same kind of confidence. And so I'm really, really hoping that the essential businesses out there, the doctor's offices, the dentists, the child care facilities that can abide by the agreement of the order, food distribution, those places that are a part of the order, open up. And let's start employing our people again so we can get to that next phase as well.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you.